Hey guys, in this video, I want to share with you all the reasons why you should not start a photography YouTube channel. Now please keep in mind, this is just act 1 in a 3-act production. In the first act, I'm going to tell you every reason I have why starting a YouTube photography vlog is a really bad idea. But for those who feel like my reasons aren't strong enough of a deterrent, in act 2, I hope to encourage you by taking the other side of the argument. If that video is released by the time you're watching this video, I'll link to it everywhere you might expect to find links to videos. Okay, so before we dive into it, I want you to know that this is gonna be pretty negative, but I want you to know there's a light at the end of the tunnel. I do absolutely love building a YouTube channel. It's been a great time, and for all the aspects that suck, I can't imagine setting it aside. So please, while I'm about to try to destroy your vlogging dreams, do take it with a grain of salt, because at the other end, I really do think many of you will love it and find it worth it. So with that in mind, here we go. The first reason why you should probably not have a photography YouTube channel is that whatever amount of time you think it's gonna take, just times it by 10. It takes a lot of time. You may not be able to sustain the amount of effort that will be required. If you wanna become successful, and we'll come back to what successful means later, but if you wanna be successful, you're going to have to be consistent. I didn't realize what a time suck seemingly simple things were, like just choosing a thumbnail or a title, to seemingly mundane simple tasks in theory, but in practice, if you do it wrong, it can mean banishment of an otherwise compelling video. Additionally, there is researching keywords, writing descriptions, responding to comments, and if you don't think responding to comments is important, well, you'd be wrong. It's hard to build a loyal subscribership if you don't engage with them. And don't forget watching other YouTube videos and responding to them also. If you want to start a channel that people watch, one of the best ways to gain subscribers initially is to be part of the dialogue on other channels. It's really hard to seed your channel if you're not willing to do that. But I'm getting ahead of myself because I haven't talked to you yet about the hours and hours you'll pour over just the video itself. If you're a photographer who obsesses over the details in one image and spends a lot of time editing, you'll be shocked at how much time you'll spend in front of Premiere editing video. It takes much, much longer. And don't forget also how much time it takes to learn new editing principles and techniques. Just because you know photography doesn't mean you know much of anything about videography. If you want to do it right, you'll be spending hours and hours watching videos about transitions, voiceover techniques, stabilization, shutter speed ratios. The list goes on and on. Can you just stick with an iPhone or a GoPro and put it in front of yourself and then later just chop it up in iMovie? Absolutely. But it's hard to have poor video content and then try to convince people that your photography or that your thoughts about photography is something they should pay attention to. It's a lot more work than you think, and it doesn't get faster either the better you get, because your standards go up. Additionally, you have to really like editing video. If you don't think you'll like it, it's very likely that you'll quit doing it for that reason alone. It'll become a monumental task just to sit down and begin wading through all of that footage, and it will just sit on your computer for longer and longer intervals until your channel just wastes away from disuse. What else is there? Music. If music is something you care a lot about and you don't just want to repeat the same 2 free tracks over and over again, finding music that helps tell your story on a budget can take an exorbitant amount of time. And speaking of music, regardless of what you pick, people will complain about it, which is actually a good transition into the second thing you should know about being a YouTuber. People are mean. They are awful. Let me paint a picture for you. Let's say that you just spent a week of work off and on, maybe 30 man hours. You poured your heart and soul into this video. Your best photography was featured, your wealth of knowledge that you've carefully collected over the years. You may have had the best intentions. You may really care about the people and want to give back. You think, if I could just help a few people take their skills to that next level, that'd totally be worth it. And with all these generous and warm feelings, you press upload on that video. So picture yourself in that place, in that vulnerable position. And now imagine that the comments start pouring in, and this is what you read. So that's the next reason why you should definitely not become a YouTuber, especially if you're sensitive to what other people think about you. If your desire is to turn to vlogging as a way to get validation, not a good idea. Do you have character flaws that embarrass you or that you don't like having pointed out to you? Maybe you're overweight, maybe you have a lisp, maybe you talk slowly or have acne, but that's just the physical stuff. Be prepared to have it pointed out to you over and over again. People are ruthless. Not all people, but even if you get that one awful troll who pushes that one button that triggers that one undealt with pain in some vulnerable area of your essence, trust me, it doesn't matter how many nice comments and how many thumbs up you get, it's that one comment that's gonna ruin your day. Alright, check the email.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk.
The next reason you should not be a YouTube photographer is that you can't make mistakes. If you say something wrong, you will pay for it. The YouTube photography community is not forgiving, and not only will you pay for it once, but you'll pay for it over and over again for the life of the video. If it's a popular video, that may be multiple years. If you had an opinion and you realized later that it was kind of a dumb opinion and everyone called you out for it, if you change your mind, it doesn't matter. That video is the world's Bible into what you believe, even if you delete it. It's canonized, it cannot be changed. As far as the community is concerned, it's permanent. Decide you want to switch to a different camera system? Be prepared to be hated by people who formerly viewed you as their spokesperson. And if you criticize a piece of gear, be prepared to face the wrath of people who are not happy that you have criticized how they chose to spend their hard-earned money. They'll take it personally. People don't like to hear that you think they made poor buying decisions, and they will let you know how they feel about your opinions in the comments. Now keep in mind, not all of these people are awful. Many of them, yes, completely awful. But some of them are well-intentioned. They think they're just doing you a favor, just helping you out. But let's play a little imagination game. Let's imagine that your zipper is down. But it's more than just down, it's like permanently down. There's nothing you can do about it. It's as low as it can go, and it's never gonna get any less undown. And let's imagine that for the next period of months, say 3 to 6 months, once a day, a complete random stranger walks up to you and whispers in your ear, "Hey bro, XYZ." Doesn't matter that they think they're doing you a favor. They have no idea that you've heard that feedback every day, multiple times a day maybe, for the last 10 weeks. This is pretty much how it feels. In some ways, all this micro-criticism that you receive makes you a little crazy, makes you paranoid. When you create a video, sometimes you feel like the first third of the video needs to be disclaimers and the middle part just needs to be justification for why you think your video is valuable. And then by the time you've gotten to your actual content, ironically, for the next, several weeks, you're gonna get daily comments from people telling you to stop worrying about what everyone thinks. Which leads me to my next reason why you should definitely not start a photography vlog. When I started doing this, I had good intentions and was totally naive. My content wasn't especially amazing. My whole platform was just, hey, I really like watching photographers who take their camera out and share their experiences. It's fun to watch and it's fun to see other parts of the world, kind of live vicariously through other people's experiences. And I wanted to offer that same experiences to others. I just wanted to share my journey. And at first, everything was fine. And then we started getting actual numbers and actual growth. I learned that when I talked about gear, we would get 10x or 20x the number of views. It became more tempting to talk about my experiences with gear, and people were ravenous for it. They wanted to hear all about the gear, so I started to oblige. But this is when it got ugly, especially when I said something that was wrong or controversial. But where it got really ugly was from other YouTubers. How dare this upstart come into my space and start flinging out this drivel, this nonsense. I was bullied and belittled and all of this for just sharing my personal feelings about silly photo gear. It kind of sucked, and I'm not gonna lie, it was a little depressing. Keep in mind that these other YouTubers have worked very hard to carve out a little niche, and if they decide to attack you for your content, they will most likely pull out the "you're misleading the consumer" card. They will position their attacks as if they have the best intention of their beloved consumer in mind. And whether that is true or not, or whether they're just bugged by an ever increasingly noisy space where videos that perform the best are the ones that talk about new gear, if you choose to do reviews, you'll probably come under fire. But the one upside here is that you won't get inundated with that at first. It will take some time before enough people start to notice your channel that you'll start to feel those gathering grumbles of dissatisfied users. But that's the next reason why you should definitely not have a YouTube channel. Growth is slow. It's not easy to get followers. It's a crowded space, getting ever more crowded every year as more and more people chase that dream of becoming Peter McKinnon. Let's face it, if you're not good looking, have a silky smooth radio voice, gifted at every aspect of filmmaking, naturally funny or charismatic, have a crazy interesting life, or have tapped into some unique perspective and creative outlet that resonates immediately with millions of people, it's gonna be harder for you. You may be a breakout success, but if you're watching this video, I kinda doubt you are. You're probably more like me, someone with interest, passion, hopefulness, feel like you have something to say, but you're average. And there's nothing wrong with that at all. But if that's you, you gotta know it's gonna be a slog. Subscribers come slowly, and only when you are consistent and put out the effort. It takes time to find your voice, and just as long to find an audience who appreciates that voice. And you always think, if I can just get to this milestone in views or this number of subscribers, then it will be easier. Then I'll hit that exponential growth. I really hope that you do find that. For us, that's not something we've experienced. Growth has been consistently linear. The only time we've seen spikes in subscribers is when we put out content that has been either extremely compelling or extremely polarizing, especially if it's polarizing about, you guessed it, gear. But as I mentioned, making videos criticizing popular gear is not a very fun experience. Sure, it will get you views, but people treat you like garbage. And speaking of gear and garbage, if you plan on talking about gear a lot, you need to plan on spending money, which means it'd be helpful to make some money. Can you make money on YouTube as a photo vlogger? You betcha. You can make dozens of dollars, and after years of consistently making dozens of dollars, maybe you'll reach that 50,000 subscriber mark and start making some real money, like school teacher salary, killing it on YouTube, living the dream. Can you make more than that? Yes, but not from the platform itself. If you do make that kind of money, it'll be from like brand deals and sponsorships, which means that if you really want to make enough money to be able to sustain yourself, you're gonna have to sell out to Squarespace or whoever else, which, by the way, will earn you additional hatred in the comments for being a total sellout, because people who watch YouTube expect you to do what you do for free, from the goodness of your heart, for the love and passion of photography, and for no other reason. Whew. All right. Guys, that was super negative, and that's not like me, so please keep in mind that while everything I said was true, I actually don't feel nearly as bitter as I probably just sounded. That was everything possible negative I could think to say, but rest assured, I absolutely love making videos about photography, and none of those reasons even comes close to making me personally want to stop. I only bring them up to paint the reality of what you're about to experience if you're going to embark on that journey. And if you've heard all that, and if you still want to move forward, then I welcome you, brother and sister of the YouTube. Step forward and let your voice be heard. Stay tuned for part 2, where things get a little easier to listen to. In that video, I'll tell you why you should definitely, absolutely start your very own photography blog. And then in part 3, I'll tell you all my good advice, everything that will help you go from no one knowing who you are to a small potatoes channel like we are, because that's all I can offer you. So until then, remember, kindness before cameras. We'll talk to you again real soon.